You could tell he really studied his butt off over the summer. Came back and really picked up right in fall camp and was really up to speed on his pass pro, his splits pickup stuff, his assignment sound, knowing what he was supposed to do, and that allowed him to play faster. And we knew he had it in him as an athlete, but then being able to show that on the field with his knowledge was evident, and he really did a nice job.
Probably get like multiple weeks to prepare for your first game. Is it kind of like preparing for the bowl game and you got a couple weeks to kind of go at it?
Yeah, a little bit. You got to just make sure that more time doesn't mean you do too much, right? You got to stay to the plan, keep it simple, and but it has been similar to to that extent, and been proud of our guys how they've not let it get monotonous, even though there's been a lot of repetition through it, and they've been staying sharp and attacking it each day.
Collin, is there a line between maybe not wanting to show too much or show too little the first game out of the season?
Yes. There's certain things, but it kind of, some of that takes care of itself a little bit just based on who you're playing and what you need to bring to the table and in certain packages that week. Some of that will take care of itself and something we got to stay on top of our own self-scout tendencies as we move through the season. But the bottom line is we need to play clean, we need to play well, we need to be fundamentally sound in all aspects, because it doesn't matter what scheme we try to run or not run. If we can't do that, it's going to be difficult.
How's that center position shaping up, the combo blocks and all the intricacies involved with that?
It's been really good. Hayden and Hadley have both done a great job. I think both of them will see some time there, and we're fortunate to have two guys that are experienced, that have played and are both doing a great job there. And there'll be a handful of guys that play there up front, and it'll be good to continue to grow those guys, evaluate them, and find that right match.
And is Hadley looking at walking in on one side or the other guard?
He will play a little bit of guard. It'll kind of be a second, third possession of the game type situation, and how Coach Riley will, finagle that based on how things are going.
Injury-wise, anything pop up this week since depth chart came out on Monday?
No, I think we were in good shape.
When it comes to the pace, do you kind of prepare how fast or monotonous you want to run your offense, or is it kind of a game flow?
A little bit of a game flow. It'll be, again, back to a large part in execution. And we're only going to be able to go as fast as we're able to execute and operate, and making sure that we're staying sharp and getting ourselves in certain positions. And, this is going to be a great first challenge for us. I mean, they do a lot of great things. They're very, very well coached. And, it's important that we play well and clean, and how that goes will be a little bit week to week, series by series.
Collin, you got two other of your former teammates coming back for the Ring of Honor this weekend. I was wondering if you could tell us your favorite memories about Tyler and Arthur.
Man, tell you what, two special teammates. There's no doubt about it. I think starting with Arthur, I think it's just he was just such a steady presence. Not just on the field, obviously, with his play, but just from a leadership standpoint. He never said too much, but everything he did say, everybody listened, because it was from his heart, and so competitive, worked so hard. I mean, we'd practice our butts off, and he'd go in the weight room and get some extra shoulder work or this and that, and it's like, holy cow! I mean, the dude's a machine, and he's just incredible. Tyler, I don't know. I mean, there's so many, because we worked a little bit more hand in hand on offense. I think the Oklahoma State game comes to my mind his true freshman year. He gets hurt on that touchdown catch early in the game, ends up getting pretty seriously hurt, and still returns the kickoff return there in the second half that kept us in the game, and again, just so raw, genuine, unbelievable leader, unbelievable talent, and unbelievable teammate.
What are the emotions going to be like for you on Saturday when you finally see your name up there? Have you had a chance to think about that at all?
Not really. It's I'm sure there'll be a minute to be able to step back and reminisce a little bit. again, it's about this week for me is about our guys and making sure that we're in as good a position as we can be, as prepared as we can be, to let them go out there and play the best clean game they possibly can and get after it.
Are you going to have a stand-in, or are you able to be out there?
I think my wife and kids will be out there and be able to accept on my behalf. But we got to make sure everything's in order.
With the collection of wide receivers, how have they messed with that Ward all fall?
Coach Ward's done a tremendous job with them. I think each one of them has improved in an area that they needed to. I think the competition, while helping one another, is something that he's really brought. He's brought an edge to them of them really pushing themselves each day, them pushing each other every day. The communication has increased from them being able to help and stay on top of one another on those little details and things of their craft. And there's a winner's edge that he's really brought to that room that has been fun to see. And we got to carry it forward and ultimately do it on the field.
Is there anything special you plan to emphasize with Adrian heading into his first game at K-State?
I think just stay within himself and be himself, and that he doesn't need to do anything that he hasn't done in practice or that we haven't prepared him for, and that he would just be himself and trust his teammates and have fun.
Are you comfortable with kind of knowing what he likes to do, like play-wise, and what he's comfortable with?
I think that's something we're constantly in the process of learning and growing into. He's very studious. I mean, we're texting late in the evening last night about some ideas and thoughts, and so I think we're getting better. I think I have and getting a better feel for that, but I think that's something that's going to continue through this year as well.
How important is that between the quarterback and offensive coordinator?
It's imperative. I mean, just to be thinking the same thing when we see a certain thing, come up with the same conclusion, and then be able to communicate on that level is critical for us to be our best.
How's it going to be different calling the game now after the first game you obviously couldn't make a whole lot of changes for the bowl game, but now having had that whole off season to kind of fine tune things?
I'm really excited, and again, it's a credit to our players. They've anything and everything new that we've asked them to do, they've dove in, attacked it, prepared extremely hard, and that's where my excitement and confidence comes from is just their their mindset, their approach, their mentality, and hunger to get after it, and how it starts to take shape and we put it all together. I'm really excited for that journey and to go along with them.
Also, with Deuce's versatility, do you have anything where maybe he and DJ are both on the field at the same time?
I don't know if it'll be maybe this game, but I mean, there's definitely some personnel packages and things that we can do to put people in different spots for sure. And Deuce gives you that versatility. I mean, he has unbelievable receiver ball skills, as well documented. But he's great to throw the ball to. So we're going to use him.
What's impressed you the most about how Taylor has kind of gotten himself back and healed after getting hurt last season?
I mean, it's obviously a tough injury, at any position, but it's something of that level is as much after the physical recovery, getting back to where you can trust it and, really be yourself. And he's been very courageous that way. And really, you could tell even through this camp now, getting the pads on again, playing full speed, has really pushed himself through some of those barriers. And I respect the heck out of him and really appreciate him for that courage.
Coach Klein said during his press conference on Tuesday that if the helmet pops off at the quarterback position, Jake Rubley's going to go into the game. Is he kind of in that number 3 spot at the quarterback, and can you kind of talk about his development?
Yeah, no, Jake had a really good camp. I was really proud of how he studied and the improvement he was able to make, and the confidence and speed at which he was able to play with, so I would say yes. To answer your question, he's in that 3rd spot right now, and I'm so blessed and fortunate to work with so many. My quarterback room, every single one of those guys is such high character, such in it for the team and the team concept, and helping each other out. And Jake does that for Will. Will does that for Adrian. Adrian does that for Jake. And all of them really do a tremendous job of focusing on the mission, bettering themselves and the team, and whatever's necessary, they've answered the bell. And I know that's what all of them will do through this journey this season.
Klein, talked about two more. How Christian Moore was able to progress over summer with Jackson being out. What have you liked most about what he's done in that kind of extra?
You know, what I've appreciated so much about Christian is he's a student of the game. He knows how the Y and the F fit together, what's going on up front, and whose responsibility is what based on what fronts it happens to be, and he, he gets on guys if someone messes up and holds them accountable that way, because he cares, and he wants it right and wants to do it right for himself and as the team. So he's been a great kind of leadership presence in that way too, of creating that accountability and competition as well as playing well and doing it himself.
What does make KT such a good left tackle for you?
He's a physical specimen. I mean, he'll get on that double team and that sucker moves. I mean, he's physical. I think watching him, how he's been able to play faster and process everything that's going on around him has really been impressive the last 12, 24 months. You can tell he understands and knows what's going on, and that with his physical ability and again, I mean, you can tell his heart's in it, and he wants to make it right and do well and wants the team to succeed, and it's a good combination.